Thank you all. Because of you, I'm here standing tall. Because of you, I'm ready for this world. Because of you, my feeling fall.
What's pop, locking and dropping, everybody? Welcome back to Northbound. As you can see, we are not in the studio. We are actually on set with Ty Dre.
Thank you for having me, Ajuki, on Cay Radio. I appreciate all of you guys.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Super, appreciative that you've even asked me to be here, especially, and made the time. So thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. So
I need you guys here more than you know. So thank you very much.
Of course.
I'm great, super grateful.
So before I introduce you and we start, getting to know you, I just want you in your own words to tell everybody what this is and why we're here.
Okay, so this is a collaborative event that I really wanted to put together because something that I love to do is bring the GTA community closer together because I feel like we don't do it enough. Mm-hmm. So about a year ago, I kind of made a decision that I wanted to use my platform for the locals as I realized that it was building. And, I saw the effects of how the pandemic kind of affected a lot of these brands. So I was like, you know what? I would much rather give my platform to the locals versus the meccas of the world. And I kind of put together a all-local collaborative event with strictly local brands in the shoot. Strictly local creatives, and basically it's a 2-day event. We had our first day yesterday. We're on day 2.
Yeah, this is day 2.
Day 2. But yeah, it was just basically we hosted the first part of the days as photo shoots for the brands specifically.
That's dope.
And then we turned those same sets into action sets for the outro of the music video on the project. Thank you all.
Yes, and that song caught my attention on your EP, and it's so funny because the week that you approached me with coming and doing this interview, I actually played Thank You All as the last song on Northbound. Yeah, and I was just like, I really appreciate how you are so appreciative of people. And one thing that really caught my attention, and I spoke to you on the phone about this, is that you really celebrate the little wins. And I say little wins because, and I'm putting this in air quotes, because they're not just little wins. They really aren't. They're still big wins. But, you appreciate being playlisted on, Apple playlists and getting 100 plays in Japan. That's fucking dope. I have that too, must say. Big ups, Japan. Big ups. But I really appreciate being here, and it's so dope to see that you are, really repping your city, and that's something that we have in common.
For me, it's like I could never do this, what I'm doing in terms of my journey, without my team. Right?
Exactly.
And all the creators around me. So it's not even an option to me to be grateful. Mm-hmm. It's natural. It's what I feel should be happening. I feel people in general should be grateful for every little thing that people do for you. No one needs to be here right now.
Exactly.
Not one of these creatives, not one of the brands that contributed to this, not you. Mm-hmm. None of you guys had to come, but you guys all did. So it's like, I'm grateful for you guys seeing and believing in my vision. So
I love that. Saying, Triz, you need to upload a big heart over us right now because that was so fucking great. Something that you always, are about is just like pushing positivity. And I really, really like that. And tell me about this merch you have on right now because they can't see, but everybody is drippy right now in your merch, like super drippy. And it's really cool to see something that is like a unisex brand and that is actually really nice. And I want to congratulate you because I know that you've sold a lot. So tell me about your own merch as well.
So Purpose, we based it off of the last project, the EP. Graphic designer on my team, RD Designs, designed the tracksuit. And kind of with this, we were just wanting to display something that we felt was comfy and fashionable at the same time that multiple people could gravitate towards. And I kind of just wanted to give my fans and supporters something, a keepsake, that they could take home and just appreciate. So we put a lot of effort and detail into this last rollout, and I think in like 2.5 weeks, we cleared like 130 pieces.
Damn.
Or something like that. And
damn.
Honestly, probably since we've done this event as well, probably at least 20 plus people have asked me to do it again. So
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get some threads too. Like, it's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
And it just goes to show that you are a man of many hats because you are, yes, a talented artist, very talented artist, but you're also a businessman because you're making merch that people actually want to buy. And I'm not trying to shade anybody out there, but you know what I mean? Like, especially as I feel like in this city, for whatever reason, it's hard for people to support one another. Like, they see other people with envy, and that's not something that you do, which I really, really appreciate. And it's, even being in your presence is like, I can't even tell you, it feels very stress-free, very relaxing.
I always want to create that environment, and kind of just, as I said, like, that's the type of energy that I put out in regards to within my music and within our shoots. That's why we put this together. I want to bring people that kind of share my same vibe and energy into the same room. So it's just like, network, feed off each other.
For
like,
sure.
You know, like, I feel like that's what's hindered a lot of the GTA's community. What we've been doing so far. So I'm trying to do the contrast. Let me be positive and uplifting, and, you know, just kind of like a inviting vibe to
anybody, yeah.
Until if you shut that door yourself, by all means, but up until that point, why do I need to come off as unapproachable, you know? So
For real.
I just always want to be as positive with anyone I interact with as possible.
I love that. And, you know, you're speaking a lot about community, and I want to hear a little bit about the community you grew up in, because I know you were from Brampton.
Yep.
Were you born and raised in Brampton?
So I was born in Scarborough.
Okay.
But for the most of my life, I've been in Brampton, and I claim Brampton as my hometown.
Okay, Brampton, let's go. There's a lot of talented people from Brampton.
I'm going to say it again.
No, for real.
A lot of slept on talent in Brampton, and everybody's going to have to start paying attention soon.
No, for real. So was music something that you always knew that you wanted to, you know, pursue?
No. I played basketball for about 12 years. I've been on my music journey now, going into my 5th. But music was always a part of me just due to my parents. My dad listened to every genre of music, from blues, jazz.
I love that.
Everything. So that's kind of why you hear a certain instrumentation in my music. And then my mother, she was kind of just more so the Caribbean descent side. So I got a lot of the soca influence.
Yeah, I saw your two-step. I saw it. I love that, because even, you know, you're speaking about like the music that your dad listens to. You have a very old soul. And I feel like I told you this maybe on the phone. And even through one conversation, I was like, oh, like you have a lot of wisdom there. And I really just appreciate sitting down with you, and also you just being transparent about everything. A lot of people, I feel, don't necessarily speak about their struggles, or when they're making music, it's a lot about like, you know, money, cars, girls, and your music actually has a story, which is amazing.
I pride myself on wanting to give people life music, like real life experiences, things that you go through on a day-to-day, because I know you can relate to that. And I also want to tell you maybe even how to get through it, keep pushing to the next level, stuff like that, you know? So I kind of feel like, once again, we have enough already of that.
We do. It's good, but we need like a little bit more. We need some depth, you know?
Something with substance. You know?
Exactly. And honestly, the whole EP, so this was your debut EP. It came out in June. And from front to back, it's really all storytelling. It really is. And are you the type of artist, when you're making music, are you writing everything down? Like, how are you in the studio?
So my creative process kind of differs depending on the vibe and what's going on. If I'm making a storytelling record, sometimes, honestly, 100% pen, paper, writing it down.
I love that. Back to like old school roots. I feel that, yeah.
But if I'm creating just a vibe, I might honestly just sit at the mic and just punch it in.
Just punch in.
Yeah.
Well, I was, you know, watching your the making of Clearer.
Okay.
And I was cracking up, because you just seem like such a vibe, so much fun in the studio. But you know, the part where the man in the mirror, I love that. That was killing me. But the best part of that whole video is that it really shows your passion when making music, but also like you were taking not necessarily advice, but somebody's like, you know, input.
My producer, Tony Range, he was actually one of the first people to work with me and kind of really helped me develop my sound. So he gives me suggestions every now and then. And honestly, a lot of the artists, he's a genius when it comes to music. And for me, like, I'm not a know-it-all. So if he has an idea or, you know, some advice that could help take a record to another level, I'm definitely hear his insight on it. As crazy as he makes me do something sometimes, But
Well, you did that high, layer, and I actually have a song where I was doing one of those high layers, and it reminds me a lot of like Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's what I felt like. So, speaking of Alvin and the Chipmunks, I want to know a little bit about your childhood. So, what was your favorite TV show growing up? Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
That is hilarious.
Shout out to Scooby-Doo one time. He carried me.
Why Scooby-Doo?
I feel like I kind of liked always just the chase, the mystery, but also the concept of it could be the person right in front of you.
Jeez, you know what's so funny is that only you would make a question about Scooby-Doo, an answer about Scooby-Doo so wise. Like, what the fuck? I love it. I love that so much. Let's talk a little bit about the brands now that are working with, because there's some dope brands in here. A few of them are Nuff, Classful, Chosen. We got Grind State in the building, Nyes, 44K, and we have a lot of creative artists as well, right? Yep. So when you were, I guess, I don't want to say scouting, but when you were planning this event, did you know about the artists and brands beforehand?
So most of the artists, yes. I have a good amount of my team members here, and then outside of that, we've done a couple projects with a couple of the creatives in here as well. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mustafa.
Okay.
And then outside of that, regards to the brands, it was a lot of referral. Because for me, honestly, Ajuki, like, you can have an amazing quality product, right? But if the person behind the brand is...
Thank you.
Is up to par with the product. It doesn't matter, right?
That is honestly something that I, relate to very much, because it's very true. There's a lot of people too who you meet in person who aren't necessarily who they are on social media. No, exactly. Yeah. And, a lot of people wouldn't be necessarily willing to collaborate with their time and effort. And it's like, oh, I'm this big person who, doesn't talk to the little people. But I really want to shout out everybody in this space, because I walked in and was like, damn, okay, like everybody is like on their shit. Everybody really looks like they're having fun and really knows what they're doing. So honestly, it's amazing.
Once again, that's just the environment that we wanted to create. The whole point of these events are for brands that didn't have the money to do a photo shoot, opportunity.
That is honestly amazing. So good. I would love to see this continue, and I feel like it will continue. I feel like you started something here. You really did.
That was the gist of it. I don't want it just to be me. I want, once again, each artist or brand needs to do the research on what their brand is and who they're going to collaborate with. That is their doing. But outside of that, the community coming together like this is what we need to do more. In general, for us to compete with the meccas of the world as a city.
Exactly.
It has to be done.
And, speaking of, meccas of the city, Toronto is one of them. And you've been getting a great amount of recognition for your music lately, as you deserve. But I want to hear a little bit about people in Toronto you want to collaborate with, because you do have a song with Babyface, which is fire.
Shout out my little sis.
Yes. Yep. And I don't even think that's the song that I found you on, but when I heard you both together, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, I want to see more collaborations. So who would you want to collaborate with in Toronto or in Canada in general? Because there's a lot of talented artists in Montreal and in Ottawa as well. So who would you want to collaborate with?
So funny you said that in regards to Montreal. Currently, Ottawa and Montreal currently looking in that area, but in terms of collabs, it was something that a lot of my fans and supporters were asking for as well.
Okay.
So we kind of cooked up a few collabs locally for now, but just to name drop a few, Taysha Webster from Brampton as well.
Okay.
B-Rob from Scarborough.
Yes.
Talented.
Very talented, yeah.
On a higher level, I really like Anders. Love to work with Anders, very talented. I know I'm missing a bunch of even the smaller acts.
I would love to see you on so every time I do an interview and every time I sit down with somebody, I always have to apologize because I am such a needy fan. I'm like, I would love to see this. I would love to see this. So one thing that I would love to see is you do some dope collaborations with female artists. They're singing and you're the guy.
So I'm not going to give you too much. I have something for you.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. When the cameras are off, you can show me a little something.
I will definitely show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what do you have in store for the future? Especially, well, I guess the year's ending, but what can the fans expect even in 2022 from you?
Currently, that little surprise is going to be, putting together a little care package for supporters and fans of what they've been asking for. So relatively, hopefully around February, might get a...
February. I'm putting it down in words now. Now you can't go back. You're going to have to call me like, oh no, like you're going to have to take that part out. Yeah, push that back.
No, February, working on something special for all the supporters and fans that have been asking for more collabs and a little more R&B.
I love the R&B. I love it. So what is a piece of advice that you would give to everybody that is tuning in and, watching right now? Because something that you said that really stuck with me was that if you believe in yourself, like there's nothing that's stopping that. And I, as somebody who struggles with imposter syndrome, which is crazy because I'm here, hosting the show, but I actually think it's because I sit down with such amazing people sometimes that I forget that I have a purpose. But so, give people the advice to just, what's a piece of advice that you give people?
So definitely should touch back on that belief system. 100% you go as far as you believe your capabilities, of your capabilities.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But just in general, outside of that, your company would probably be like the best advice that I could give. Like you saying that you have a platform and you speaking to the people that you speak to keeps you going. Same thing for me. The people that I surround myself by, the environment that I keep around me is what keeps me on the right track. So if you have like-minded people that are motivated, want to get to the next level, X, Y, or Z, positive influences, uplifting, that's going to carry you as far as you want to go.
I love
as long
that.
as you have the mindset, once again, to see it through to the end. You ultimately can't have a sense of doubt of seeing through the journey, the complete journey.
For sure.
No
And
matter what happens.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that there are, many bumps in the road or, just times where you feel lost or like maybe this isn't necessarily worth it. So what is something that has kept you going? Because you've been doing this for a while, not necessarily a while, but I saw that you dropped your first song, 2017?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. And your sound has definitely elevated a lot. And I've even realized like some of the subjects that you started talking about has changed as well. So what has kept you going really?
Due to the fact that I feel like I make more of my music off of life experience. So that's what I feel has kind of kept me going in regards to giving me always something to talk about.
Yeah.
But once again, I probably attribute that just to my surrounding. The people I keep around me, they keep me going. To see kind of just motivation of my peers, my family supporting me. It's just like, okay, like it's not a given or a likely thing when people support you being an artist.
Yeah. So
it's like if you guys are all willing to really buy into me and really believe in me, how could I not see this through?
And that's literally kind of like the, what Thank You All is about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that so much. Well, it's been so amazing sitting down and talking with you. To end off, I want to ask you some fun questions because I saw you did a little bit like a get to know me, and then they asked you like different questions. And from what I got from that is that I know that you are a Capricorn, and I know that you're an introvert. So, tell me, where do you get this confidence from, first of all? Because you actually radiate confidence. And I think sometimes people think that introverts aren't necessarily confident, but I feel like you have it. So tell everybody, what is that from? I need to know too.
I would say the confidence stems from me believing in myself and opening doors that I never thought would open. So it was like, imagine playing basketball for so long.
Okay.
And having conversations with people you never thought that you would speak to in the music world. Or like song on Apple Music.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily anticipate these things. So it kind of gives me that boost of confidence to say, okay, like you can really do this because you went literally from one thing to another. So I kind of just have to look at myself in the mirror sometimes, even when things are hard, and say, yo, you know what you've done to date that you never thought was possible? Big up yourself.
Jeez. Okay. Yes.
And I feel like us as creatives, entrepreneurs, we need to do that more. We always tend to look at the current situation as to what's going on. If it's hard, it's
fucking hard. Yeah.
God, you know what I mean? But sometimes when you take that step back and say, shit, like it's hard right now, but these are problems that I asked for a year ago.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes like the harder the problem, like the bigger the responsibility. Like if you want to live this, big life, you gotta have hard problems for sure.
It's kind of like accepting any hardship upon your journey. As long as you accept that, and that it's not gonna be straightforward.
Yeah. You're talking a lot about basketball because this was your old life. And I feel like I understand the connection because you're very disciplined. I feel like there's like the competitiveness too.
In it, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But I want to know, so who's your favorite basketball team?
Basketball team?
Yes, right now. Because you saw Raptors getting slapped the first time.
If I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to be fully transparent even for the platform.
Okay.
For me to get to the place where I am in music, I left basketball completely alone.
Behind.
I don't watch it. I don't play 2K. I don't go to runs. None of the above.
And do you still have that love for basketball, or music is just the first love?
Music, I'd say, is the first love. For me, it's like,
damn.
I felt it wasn't necessarily 100% love with basketball versus the sense I had the skill set to do it, and I'm, as you mentioned, competitive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just outright competitive. So I don't know if it was a love for the basketball itself versus the fact that I love competing and going at people every day.
Interesting.
With my own skills.
Yeah. So basketball was your high school girlfriend.
Yep.
And now you found your wife.
And I'm married.
Now you're married.
Yep.
And in high school, what was your favorite subject?
Probably say math.
Math.
That's probably where the business aspect comes in.
And are you still good with numbers?
I'd say so.
That's good. As someone who I don't even think that I remember my divisions, timetable, all that stuff. Can't say that I
Your
can.
Your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was drama.
Okay.
Yeah. I like being dramatic. I think I still am dramatic a little bit. I like fooling around, And, what kind of person were you in high school? Did you have any inkling that you were going to follow music?
No.
Cool. That's actually crazy.
I had no idea. It's just life got stressful at a point in time, and I needed an outlet, and that's kind of where my whole introduction to music came from. But who I was in high school, honestly, more of that introvert.
I
went to class, went to practice, I spoke to the 1-2 people I knew, home.
And then you're gone.
I was like a blur. I'm like a mystery person. If you don't know me.
So that's where the Scooby-Doo came in.
Yeah.
Jeez, mysterious.
little bit of a mystery, but if you don't know me, I'm kind of just like.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So when did you pick up that pen, or when did you first, spit into the mic? When was that first music experience then? That you're really like, oh, I can do this? Because I know everybody dances as a kid and fools around. But when were you when was that shift? Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 what?
About 2 years ago.
I thought you said 2 days ago. I was like, whoa, wow, you are quick.
About 2 years
2 years ago
was when I said, okay, now I can really do this.
Yeah.
When you start to, once again, reflect and take acknowledgement of your own growth and, kind of just really reflect on it and say, I wasn't doing that a year ago. I didn't even think I could vocally bring myself to that place a year ago. And then where it's that question as a songwriter, a creative, where you're like, could I make another song? But all of a sudden you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I could do this. So it was about 2 years ago, and I really started finding myself and realized that there was going to be no creative end.
And that's really interesting that you say 2 years ago, because, you put your first song out in 2017. Yeah. So now when I'm going to go back and listen to your catalog of music, I think that's where I can hear the shift. Interesting.
But even in saying that, if I'm going to be honest with Ajuki, it's been a real in-between mixture as to what people have heard to current date. A lot of what you have heard is a year or two old.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that's
which I feel like I understand that as an artist myself, but I feel like the fans don't understand that. Like it really takes a lot of work to put out music, and it takes time. Like you don't just come up with a song and it's recorded and then bam. Like there's also a lot of money that you have to put into it as well. So I love, that you've let me know that this is, a little bit, in the past, because that just makes me super excited to hear about the music that you're making now. Like the music that you probably made 2 days ago. It's been so nice sitting here with you. It really has been. And I just want to invite you, to the studios. I would love to have you in Cay Radio and just do, a show in the studio with you, because I feel like we would fucking vibe out.
I'm super down. And honestly, Ajuki, once again, thank you guys for coming through to the shoot. Thank you for having me on the platform. Thank you for seeing my vision and being a part of this. I really can't thank you guys enough, and I'm super grateful. No, I'm super grateful. It's been amazing. And, anytime I get invited by an artist, especially an artist that I fuck with, I'm like, oh, my heart. Like, that's why I was like, we better edit some hearts in this bitch right now, because I feel very grateful. But let the people know where they can follow you on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Like, what social media are you on? Instagram, getting on TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. And you can find me on most social sites at TydreBH, that's TYDREBH, and across all DSPs or Spotify, Apple Music at TY''DRE. Perfect. And you can tune into Northbound Fridays at 6. And you spoke about a TikTok account that you're going to be making, and I'm going to let the people know they can follow Cay Radio on TikTok, because we're going to make a TikTok right after we turn off the camera. Yeah, I'm going to make you do that 2-step. Let's go. Perfect. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.